everybody. You're listening to Modern Era Fitness Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a personal trainer.
And I'm Caleb, a martial arts instructor.
We're having a good week here at the Forge. Got lots of training going on, and we're working on some new stuff coming at you in a couple weeks, but we're going to leave it at that and just kind of tease you a little bit. Caleb, how you doing?
Well, I'm titillated now.
You are?
Yeah.
And it worked.
You're such a tease. I'm doing good. I had my first week of BJJ.
What is that?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh. How'd it go?
Really well.
Did you walk into place and let them all know you're a second-degree black belt in Kaji Kembo?
Hey, can I get everyone's attention? just to let you know and set some ground rules.
Yeah. I'm the teacher now.
Yeah.
Look at me.
No, it was fantastic. It was really good. And I generally don't tell people. I'm not going to lie if they ask.
Uh-huh.
You know, they don't need to know.
Yeah.
Because
same,
as far as
same rules as Walmart. You don't walk into Walmart and say, hey, I'm trained.
Yeah, well,
you can.
I don't think anybody in Walmart is trained.
You don't ever go to Walmart?
No, I mean,
Boom.
I meant their employees. But anyway, like trained, like job trained.
Oh, I get it.
It's a zing to
Over my head.
Yeah, but you know, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and really, it doesn't matter if I've trained in anything. It's a completely new experience for me.
Uh-huh.
Straight up white belt going in, and it's fun. I like it. It's kind of fun to be part of the process again.
What's different about it from what you're from Kaji Kembo? What's different than Kaji? What's different about? Hang on. Why are you going into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and how is that different from Kaji Kembo?
I'm nervous to answer that because I just started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I could say at this point what I think the difference is, but if there's anybody out there that's trained for more long, you know, has been doing it longer, has a different perspective on it. But if I were to shoot from the hip right now, to give you kind of an idea, they don't require people to wear a cup.
Oh.
So that kind of tells you the difference in mentality.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Like, if you're not worried about hitting or protecting the groin, it's obviously a little bit more street, or not street, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's a little more competition.
Yeah. What are you hoping to get out of it?
I don't know, just sharpening the tools. You know, Kaji Kembo has jiu-jitsu in it, but it's the jiu-jitsu in Kaji Kembo is more about joint locks and using soft target manipulation to either break or gain compliance.
Uh-huh.
You know? And this jiu-jitsu is using the same stuff, but primarily from a ground position. It's a very effective martial art, and it's very good, but I could see some issues arising if there were multiple attackers or if there's weapons involved, because a lot of times you're only focused on one limb and getting that one limb to get the person to comply or choke them out, you know. But that leaves 3 other limbs that you have to worry about, and one of them being another hand. And if somebody's got a gun or a knife in their waistband, and I'm wrenching that arm back in an arm bar, what's to stop them from pulling that knife and start stabbing my legs and my gut and stuff? But that's coming from a white belt, so
yeah.
I don't, you know, they could have solutions to that problem. I just don't know them yet. So I'm going in there. I'm trying to go in there with a completely blank slate,
which is impossible if you're human.
I'm always going to frame it with the experience that I have, but I'm trying to not let that get in the way of the process. Like, right. I want to learn what they have to teach. Right. I'm not there to critique.
Right. You want to have them a beginner's mentality and soak up what you can.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I may have some of that may influence some of how I see things and how I do things. But when we talk about bilingual people and trilingual people, and those people have what's called a heart language. It's their first language. It's the one they're most comfortable with. That if they're at home, that's the language they want to use. They don't have to think about it quite as much, and it's just natural. And so I feel like Kaju Kembo is my heart language. It sounds completely
Your heart
anti
discipline.
Kaju Kembo because I'm talking heart, Oh,
Well, I think
but you know what I mean, right?
I do. It's your heart discipline. That's
Yeah.
the thing that you are way into.
Yeah, and it will always be kind of my primary filter. Like everything's going to be kind of filtered through that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, but I love it. It's great. It helps you think about things in a different way. It's definitely a tactical, strategic martial art. And it's very big on sensitivity, which is something that we deal with a lot in our Kaju Kembo Tumpai. And what I mean by sensitivity is you need to be aware with all your senses, in particularly touch, because I mean you're grinding on a guy, and I mean if we're being real, you're grinding on a guy, and you need to be able to feel where the weight is, and if they start to move one way, like you have to read the intention of the guy you're grinding on.
Yeah.
So you can think steps ahead and then
Right.
protect yourself or wreck himself.
Good one.
Yeah. Took a while.
I just think that it's really cool that you're so far down the rabbit hole with Kaju Kenbo, and now you're going to something else, and basically starting at the bottom and embracing that just to sharpen your tools.
It's fun. I like it a lot. And like I think I said this in another episode, but it helps your brain out to learn new things all the time.
Absolutely.
So not only am I gaining skills in self-defense and martial arts and things like that, it's also helping my brain make new connections. And that's why they say learning a new language late in life, it's more difficult because your brain is already set and not as malleable. But doing it late in life will help stave off
Yeah.
dementia type diseases like Alzheimer's and things like that. So it keeps you young in the mind.
Sure does.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into weights, other than, the health benefit. Doing something new,
Mm-hmm.
was good. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You facilitated a healthier brain and body.
And
And
both
spirit.
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this just got real creepily romantic.
I love you.
Thanks.
Let's just shut this thing down and go grind on each other.
I'll show you some
what
jits moves.
Show me what you learned.
Yeah.
Now I can't make eye contact with you.
I know. Where's my coffee? Look at that poster. Okay. So now the real topic for today. What were we going to talk about today?
Motivation.
Cool.
Yep. How to spell it. How to use it in a sentence. We got the dictionary out and the thesaurus and the encyclopedia.
And Google, which is all those things.
But not Bing and not Yahoo.
Definitely not Bing. WTF is Bing.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Okay, so motivation.
It's not a Pokemon.
Bookmark that. We'll come back.
Okay.
So motivation, what is it, man? Like, what is it for you?
Your reason for doing things.
Okay. Pretty simple.
Yeah,
concept.
That's it. So when I think of motivation, I think of somebody that's just a go-getter.
So that's somebody being motivated.
Yeah, their
not the-
momentum is their momentum for whatever they're doing is going full force.
Yeah, like it's pushed by something.
Yes.
What in your line of work, what are kind of the main points of motivation for people? Like, why would somebody come to see you? What's their motivation to come see you, come train?
Well, people come see me because they want to lose weight. And so I can kind of boil that down to say, why do you want to lose weight? It's like, well, I want to feel better. I don't feel good. So it's like, okay, your motivation is to feel good. So, and that actually a lot of reasons why people come to see me or why they tell me they're coming to see me can be boiled down to they want to feel better.
Mm.
They want to feel healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that's like a loss of body fat
Mm-hmm.
or bigger biceps or whatever. Like if they want bigger biceps and we work the full body in so many different ways, like ranging from flexibility to power to range of motion and so many different kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to feel a lot better than if we just did bicep curls.
Right. Right. And I feel like the being healthy or feeling better, there's almost that seems like the public answer, and there's probably a more private answer that is behind that. Like for me, I want to be healthier so I can live longer, or I want to be healthy so I can be around for my spouse and my kids, so the motivation becomes something a little more personal, a little more intimate. That's how I see it.
Well, that's kind of what we hold dear at Northwest Forge, because our slogan is just fitness, nutrition, and motivation, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission is actually to help people live their lives more fully through exercise, nutrition, and motivation.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, for us, I get a whole heap of reasons. And when people make first contact with me, that sounds extraterrestrial. Yeah. When people make that initial contact with me, either Facebook, email, or phone call or whatever, and they are asking about classes, one of the things I always try to get out of them in that first conversation is, why do they want to train? Because that will inform me on what their interests are, what their home life is like, because some people want to train to protect themselves and their family. They have this desire to learn self-defense. They don't want to be a victim. Maybe they've already been victimized, and they don't want it to happen again. Like empowerment, I guess, would be a good word. Some people want the fitness side of it. Some people, mental health. What am I trying to say? So not just fitness, but like the whole package. So like I've got a guy that comes to our Tai Chi class. He's a fit dude. He's got a very stressful job. He works for the police department. He's pretty high up in the police department, and he just deals with horrible nonsense all day. And he just comes in because he wants to be able to relax. He has a hard time relaxing. And so we try to facilitate that. So knowing somebody's motivation helps me teach them better.
Be on their level.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm not going to teach somebody who wants to relax how to use Tai Chi in a self-defense situation. And surprise for some of you out there, Tai Chi is a martial art. It's not just it's not like straight up yoga. There is martial application, but you can use it as a tool for calming the mind, relaxing the body, achieving balance with yourself, appreciating the light within.
Keep it going.
I can't. It's so much bull.
I know. Something you said about somebody that comes to you. Unfortunately, the sting of something negative, like a health-related incident, that's unfortunately way more likely to get people to be motivated about making a change.
Yeah.
Like their motivation being, I don't want to have another heart attack, or I don't want to...
I know what you mean. Like
I don't want my arthritis to get worse.
When we had Alyssa on from Abound Wellness, she mentioned... We kind of asked her the same question in a roundabout way. Like, what are the things that bring people in? And she said oftentimes it's a diagnosis. Something has already happened, and now they're like, oh crap, I gotta make some changes. And it's absolutely true for us and for what you do. People step on the scale and they weigh 400 pounds and they're like, and they look at themselves in the mirror and they're done with it.
Yeah.
You know, they're desperate, and they can take a step towards the positive and try to work on themselves, or they can just, I don't want to say wallow because that sounds a little harsh, but that's essentially the other option. I mean, just accepting and living that way for the rest of your life, which is probably going to be a lot shorter.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, in our case, being victimized. I had a guy who was training with us, a really good guy. He got mugged, and his family was nearby. And, you know, he didn't want to feel like he couldn't take care of himself and take care of his family. And so that's what brought him in initially. And you can tell the way he trains. He's training hard because he wants to make sure that never ever happens. He's got this. It's a victim mentality, but he's using it to fuel
right.
empowerment.
He had one of those really negative stings.
Yeah.
And now his training, he
Exactly.
is highly motivated. He's not just motivated like, yeah, it'd be cool to be able to take care of myself or,
Yeah.
you know, beat up somebody if I wanted to. But,
Yeah.
you know, getting mugged when your family's right there or whatever,
Yeah.
like, I can't think of something that would motivate me more
Yeah.
to train with you or to get my act together.
Exactly.
And same thing with, you know, like having a doctor, like having to go to the doctor and him saying, like, if you don't get on a proper nutrition and training program right away, your life is going to be significantly shorter.
Yeah. You're going to have type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have heart problems.
Yeah, do you want to live longer? Then go
Joint problems.
exercise.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not enough for some people. They can be told that, you know, they're going to live shorter lives, significantly shorter, or have an impending death unless they do this, and they won't stop.
Yeah. There's so many issues. Just like motivation for positive change, there's motivation to not change. And I feel like one of those is comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about food, like fast food. You know, if you don't have obvious health problems, or maybe you're one of those people that just naturally stays thin and you're eating fast food all the time, and you don't see any external damage, in reality, you're killing yourself if you're eating like that all the time. And
thin does not equal healthy.
yeah, and so there's the motivation towards the negative is like, well, I don't. It's almost like not having motivation for healthy choice.
There's no
You know what I mean?
There's no motivation for change. Like the status quo is
doing fine,
totally
and I'm comfortable,
fine, and I'm cozy. I don't need to change.
Yeah.
So if people are listening to this podcast, they probably want change in some form or another.
Yeah.
So how do we create that motivation? Like somebody knows that they are not happy with the status quo. They want to improve themselves. They want to be able to take care of themselves or feel healthier or whatever, or be healthier, I should say. How can we create that motivation?
I don't know if that's a question that we can answer for people, because people have to find that one thing that just means that it might just be a matter of finding self-worth. You know, for some people, they're just so down in the dumps. And step one is just realizing that they're worth something, that they mean something.
I love that.
I think it's sad, but it's true. I feel like a lot of people, that's kind of the thing. They put so much of their self-value on how they look.
Or how they contribute.
Yeah.
Or what they do.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just feel like it needs to shift. There needs to be...
I think you can... Can I interrupt or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, please.
I think you can ask the question why. And this is what I do when somebody comes to see me. They say, I want to have a smaller waist. And I say, well, you know, that's really cool. Why do you want to have a smaller waist? And I'm not just asking why, just like a kid. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? But
shut up, kid.
Because I want to. Shut up, kid. I just heard that. Just give me a waist trainer and I'll leave. But getting to the heart of why you want to do something in any way, shape, or form, and going down that rabbit hole is going to really bring to light your motivation. Does that make sense?
I think so. Can you keep going with it?
Yeah. So if somebody comes into me and they say, I want to lose 30 pounds, and I say, why do you want to lose 30 pounds? Right off the bat, it always gets uncomfortable because they usually don't think about the next step or what's underlying. They say, well, what do you mean why? Because I want to lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And so after...
It's almost like getting naked in front of someone.
Well, it's getting naked in front of yourself. And it's asking yourself, why do you want to do
with
this?
your personal trainer? That is what I'm getting at.
And
but
actually, yeah, I see what you mean.
You kind of have to do that. You have to lay yourself bare, whether it's with me. Wait, this is sounding pervy, but...
We'll grind it later.
Yeah, we'll grind this out later. We'll roll. It took a lot of courage for that guy to tell me about how he felt when he got mugged and how helpless he felt. Somebody coming in and says, okay, this is my goal. I want to be this weight. They expect that that's all they're going to have to tell you, and you help them get to that goal. They don't realize that in order to get to that goal, we're going to have to figure out why you're in the state that you're in now. Does that make sense?
Can you say that all again?
No. Okay. So somebody comes in and they say, I want to lose 30 pounds. And then you ask why, kind of digging a little deeper, why they're 30 pounds heavier than they want to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like what you were saying, people don't often think that they're going to have to explain that to you. And when they need to, when they realize if I'm going to reach my goal, I need to really get at the root. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so in order for you to kind of quiz them and pull it out, not interview, what's the word I'm looking for? Interrogate them. Put bamboo shoots under their fingernails and stuff. I feel like that's going to unlock that deeper motivation that we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
Their motivation for walking in the door is to lose 30 pounds, but the real motivation is
the heart of the motivation.
Yeah. Anyway, so rabbit hole.
Yes. Rabbit hole.
20 minutes later.
So, and sometimes it's a little, it can almost get a little ugly because, like myself included, I didn't want to admit that I needed help or that I needed outside or help outside of myself, or that I created the situation with myself that needed help. Does that make sense? So somebody comes in and they say, I need to lose 30 pounds. And I say, why? And we start doing this dance. And they say, because I need to lose 30 pounds.
Because I want to fit into a dress.
Yeah. Why do you want to fit into that dress? What's wrong with the clothes you have now? Well, I don't like how
I look in them.
And why don't you like how you look in them? Because I need to lose 30 pounds. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So sometimes it can get kind of ugly.
Yeah, because the real reason is they don't like how they look. I mean, when you boil it down, and that's pretty intimate.
It is pretty intimate. But once I get to that point and they say, well, because I'm not happy with the way I look. Yeah. And they're like, aha. And I'll actually say that verbally, like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah. I'm going for the heart of why you want to lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
You're not happy with the way you look. And just a few questions later, you kind of get to the point where it's feeling they can feel out of control. They can feel like they're not worth. It's not worth their time to work out because they don't know what they're doing, and that kind of comes back to self-worth. And there's all kinds of underlying psychological factors that go into it.
I feel like that's a really good reason why you should have a personal trainer or some external coach or martial arts instructor or whatever, because there are moments where in your training where you just feel like it's not working. Their mindset hasn't changed. And so it's like that external person is your anchor to that motivation, saying, just keep with it, Yeah. Like stay with it. Remember why you wanted to do this. This is part of the process.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to help reignite their motivation, help them remember their original motivation to keep them going.
And there's a lot of ways you can do that too. Like showing them the real benefit of what they're going through or the small changes. Like, because so many people, when they think of a goal, they think of their Everest. Like, I want to lose X amount of pounds, and half that isn't cool. 1/10 of that isn't cool. If I lose 10 pounds less than that, then whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when in all reality, like 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories that you have to burn off extra. So it's like every pound that you lose is a win.
Yeah.
And every, 2 pounds that you add to your squat or whatever is a win. And just, it's like, it goes back to that rule of 1%, just adding that 1% over time.
Yeah.
And voila, you're at your goal, and then moving beyond that.
And moving beyond that. That's what I was just going to say is think about if you had scaled a mountain, how awesome and empowering that would feel. At that point, you would think, well, why don't I set another goal even higher?
Uh-huh.
And it just keeps going and going and going. Like for martial arts, everybody comes in thinking, okay, black belt. That's my goal. That's what I want to hit, And once they achieve that goal, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, it was, okay, how do I get even better? Like I want to be better than that. I want to be able to teach. I want to be able to, whatever. But you just kind of keep pushing out that goal as you hit goals. And I think that's a good way to live, but maybe not.
I agree. I think, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, you can have goals. Goals are good. Goals are healthy as long as you're not neglectful of the other important things in your life and only fixated on that goal. Like if somebody were training in martial arts and they have a family and they start training 5 nights a week and neglecting the other part of their life, that means a lot. Like it's fantastic. They're achieving their goals. They're getting fit. They're learning martial arts and achieving a lot, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mixing goals and a systems approach is key to doing that.
What do you mean systems approach?
So let's say my goal, I come to you and I've never done martial arts before and I want to be a black belt. That's my goal. I want to be a black belt. And I want to be in here 5 days a week. And I do that for a while and then I get burned out like after 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I back off a little bit. I would talk to me, well, if I was outside of myself, talk to me about a systems approach. Like, hey, this 5 days a week stuff isn't working out for you. First,
you'd be like, hey, you're looking really good today. Me?
Hey, you're doing great.
Your buns look great. Me? Okay, back on track. So, systems approach. You were explaining systems approach. Somebody comes in, wants to get the black belt.
So
they burn out in 3 months.
Instead of having an example, I'll just say it. Having a systems approach of mixing a goal and a system to get there. So it could be as simple as
like a framework to keep you in line with the goal.
Yeah, so the framework can be like a schedule. And so, the goal is black belt. Let's say black belt in 5 years.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that realistic?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. At least for our program. Every art is different, though.
So 5 years, I want to get my black belt. And my system to get there that's sustainable is to go 3 nights a week during the year. And then, during like the fall, the winter, and the spring. And then in the summer, just 2 nights a week because I got a lot of summer stuff going on, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's my system. And so I could take that system over to personal training, or not just personal training, but physical fitness.
Yeah.
My goal is to lose 30 pounds. My system is this daily routine that I have. My system is my daily cardio. That's just 20 minutes. My short 30-minute lifting routine in the afternoon, and eating these foods and not these nasty foods over here. And that's my system. Maybe get a personal trainer. Maybe measure your food. Drink a lot of water, and just following these short, simple little things that will get you there in the long run, instead of pounding it into the ground until you get your goal.
Yeah.
And what I don't like about that, like The Biggest Loser, about losing, that's great that they lost all that weight and that's cool, but they
careful, bro. I really like that show. I'm a big fan of Jen and Bob.
I do not like that show.
Oh man,
because it's not sustainable, and a lot of those people gained a lot of that weight back.
Well, they do learn like food skills and habit.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not saying
exercise
I'm not
habits.
saying everything about that show or everything about what they learned in that show is crap, but I'm saying it wasn't sustainable.
One thing I will say is kind of funny or crap is they're sponsored by Jenny O or something like that.
Who's that?
They make processed meats.
Hmm.
And
So that means Jenny O's is healthy?
well, they pick like lean turkey and all this stuff, but it's full of like sodium and
Yeah.
just all this nonsense.
Yeah.
It's,
Heart-stopping goodness.
yeah. Well, while it may be lean,
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean it's good for you.
You know what else is fat-free? Gatorade. Okay,
It's full of electrolytes.
folks, you can't see my face right now, but I am being so sarcastic. You don't need Gatorade unless you're running a marathon or you just did a booty builder session with me and then you're doing boot camp right after. So that's an hour of like pretty dang high intensity stuff.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you can have half of a Gatorade. But other than that, you don't need Gatorade and stay away from the extra sugar.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Okay, back to topic.
Okay. So the systems approach, what you're saying is good because it forces somebody to make it sustainable.
It's having a plan of how to get there.
Yeah.
So the goal is where I'm going. The system is how you're going to make it happen.
And I think that's why a lot of New Year's resolutions fail is because they don't take that approach. They have this motivation, they have this goal, this mindset, and then they just hit it super hard without really knowing where to go or how to do it.
Right.
And-
There's sorry. I
No.
keep interrupting.
And so they just run themselves in the ground, and then 3 months in, they're done, and they're right back where they were before, if not worse.
What I see.
You can talk now,
Okay.
Mike.
Yeah. So what I see a lot is, and I used to watch this every year when I was working out at a gym.
The
Is
flood of people.
The flood on January 1st, and it would last max 2 months.
That's
and,
why.
And I would go there, and I would be like, wow, there's a lot of new people here. And they would be there from the time I got there to the time I left.
Hmm.
And that tells me that they're there too long. Because at that point, I was there for an hour straight,
Yeah.
like going pretty hard. And if you're there longer than an hour, if you're there longer than an hour, then you're either way, 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 way advanced, or you're being inefficient with your time.
Ooh. Call it like it is.
Yeah. And that's...
Yeah, because people like The Rock, Dwayne, he's probably there 4 hours plus.
I don't know about that. I don't think 4 hours.
What do you think?
I think...
I just see it as somebody's full-time job, like a dude as big as him,
Uh-huh.
and it's hard to think of him not needing a ton of time.
I think The Rock lifts twice a day, maybe twice a day, for an hour or less.
Really?
Yeah.
So, The Rock, if you're out there listening to Modern Era Fitness Podcast, shoot us an email, let us know what your routine looks like.
Or just hang out with us.
yeah, please
hang out with
please.
us.
He's a Polynesian god.
He's my Rock. My Dwayne. My Johnson.
He's my candy.
What?
That's one of his catchphrases.
Oh.
He calls people candy.
Oh. I didn't know that.
You're
I
not
feel
a
like
real fan.
I feel like I'm not a big enough fan of
Yeah.
it. Anyway, I guess I'll get out of here.
But you probably know his bicep measurements, don't you?
No.
Mike?
23 and a half.
Is that good? I don't know what a good number is.
Well, mine are
Okay.
maybe 17 and a half.
What would you estimate mine at? Shooting from the hip. You could be honest. Laying it out there.
13?
Is that good?
No.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that, bro. Okay, let's measure it right now.
I think my
Hand
legs.
me the tape.
I think my legs are 24. Hang on.
So am I supposed to flex when you measure?
No. Relax.
Well, it's not going to be that impressive then. It better. I hope it's more than 12 or 13 inches.
12 and a quarter.
Are you serious?
No. I mean, yes, I'm serious.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. That's what I meant. Okay. Let's do something else.
Yeah, let's stop measuring things. And
Come on.
No. Put those back on. Put those back on. Oh, I now know just as much as Michaela knows about you.
Yeah. That's pretty good, right? 3?
Sure. I've heard it's more about how you use it than...
That's what people that love me keep telling me.
So...
Yeah. Motivation. So we want to ring it back. So how to keep motivated. I think this is a really big point to folks that take a hard look at themselves, ask the why questions, and...
Ask the what?
The why questions.
Oh.
The why question.
I thought you were trying to say right questions, and you said white questions.
Well...
What? Ask the white questions.
The white question for the white reasons.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Ask.
So asking the right questions about what your motivations are for getting in shape or learning martial arts. And keep in mind that the negative stings will motivate you much more than the positive benefits. And that's just the way we humans work. We don't like getting mugged. We don't like people calling us a fat piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Speak for yourself.
Probably not going to happen, but like, hey, that's a real thing that like kids go through.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
Or
we're joking
bullies,
about it, but it's absolutely
and like kids in school and stuff, or just how you feel about yourself. And so, if your motivation is you don't want to get mugged, that's a really good motivation to start learning martial arts. If your motivation is to gain control of your body and feel healthy and not feel gross, because that's a thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can feel gross about your daily life because you don't know what you're doing. Then that's a great reason to get in the gym, or better yet, get a personal trainer and get a teacher. So, how to keep it, or how to keep the motivation? Remember your beginning reason about why you started.
Yeah.
Because your beginning reason is probably your biggest motivation, and it's probably going to stay your biggest motivation.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like my motivation, as I was going through training, evolved. Like it changed over time.
Oh yes, as you went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about like people that have been like less than a year, but I agree with you, myself included. Like as I kept going, it went from okay, I want to be able to do my job better in the military, to I love doing this.
I guess maybe I agree with what you're saying. I think that your motivation compounds with other motivations as you move
Absolutely.
along. So as you start to work towards that initial goal that had you motivated, and you start seeing that within reach, then you start tacking on.
Yeah.
That original motivation never stops, because say you lose those 30 pounds, part of your continuing motivation is, I don't want to go back there. You know?
Yes.
I don't want to have to lose that initial 30 pounds, but I also might say, okay, I want to be able to deadlift X amount of pounds.
Yes.
Or whatever.
So that's how you keep it. You just keep asking yourself, you know, daily if you have to, why am I doing this? You know, if it's because you love it or because you want to be able to take care of yourself, whatever, just keep reminding yourself of it. And keep it at the forefront of your mind, or if you need to make a sticky note or make it the background on your iPhone, whatever.
Yeah. And I feel like that will, like our routine, we get up early in the morning and we come and do weights. It would be really easy just to sleep.
It would be.
I feel like the motivation is what keeps me from sleeping.
Yeah. well, that, and because you and I are lifting buddies, like the negative sting of letting you down and not showing up is definitely there. Yeah.
That's kind of why it's so important to me that we continue that, because when you have that I don't want to call it accountability, because it's not like I'm looking for you for chastising remarks and things like that, or if I don't make it in, it's like I'm letting you down if I don't show up.
Yeah, I think that's
makes it harder for you.
It's accountability at its core. I think.
I guess maybe it is.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, good.
So lastly, I wanted to touch on one thing, which was giving motivation or motivating others. If if you're living a lifestyle that is motivating, then people are going to come to you for it, I think.
I experienced that firsthand with Kelly, my wife.
Yeah.
She got on this fitness track and this healthy eating track, and seeing her go and be motivated and just go. That was hard for me to say.
Yeah.
Go.
I think we're low on blood sugar.
Yeah. That kind of spurred me on. That was motivation for me to get on the path. And seeing how good she felt, Yeah, so she gave me motivation just by her living the example, I guess.
Yeah, and she didn't have to say anything or
Yeah.
like, hey, Caleb, I'm going to give you some tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about giving motivation. If somebody doesn't want your motivation or doesn't want any tips, don't approach them and show them how to do things.
I don't know. Or maybe I'm thinking more encouragement. I think encouragement should be handed out willy-nilly.
I agree. Well, encouragement, affirmations.
Unless somebody turns to you and is like, I'm focusing.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, encouragement and affirmations, I think, definitely, especially as teachers.
Yeah. But don't think that you're going to come in and give somebody some profound motivation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
We are what we repeatedly do. Now lift.
Hang in there, cat. Get it? Because of that cat on the poster that's hanging from the
I get it now
clothesline.
that you explained it.
Yeah. My jokes always land because I always explain them and make sure people understand them. Makes them so much funnier.
Oh, man. I have an uncle that explained to me, well, he actually explained I was in on the conversation, that if you have to explain the joke, then it is no longer funny.
Absolutely right.
If it doesn't land, leave it.
Yeah. 12 and a quarter, really?
12 and a quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you're getting ripped. You are.
12 and a quarter, that's not ripped. Although probably my starting point was like 6.5.
More like 11 and a half. But yeah, adding inches, like people think like, oh, I just gained an inch. It's like, no, you gained an inch. Like an inch circumference is a big deal when it comes to volume.
Yeah.
Ask anybody that's really good at math.
So that would not be me.
Or me.
Well, I think we should close it out.
I think we killed it dead.
We've done killed it. So thanks for listening again, guys. And if you want little words of affirmation, feel free to email us, and Mike will send you an encouraging email in response.
Yep, it's probably going to be a motivational quote on a kitty poster in email.
Kitty, Kiddie, or Kitty?
Baby goat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah, and I just started following this social media profile on Instagram called Goats of Anarchy. It's really good.
You heard it here, folks.
All right.
Again, thanks for listening. If you want to contact us, you can reach us at modernairfitnesspodcast@gmail.com or social media.
We're on Instagram and Twitter at MEF Podcast. Reach out to us and we'll say hi back. We really enjoy talking to you guys, and thanks for listening.
Live in a good place, keep your mind deep, and work when it's time.
See ya.
Bye.
But
Shut up, kid.